Choosing a career can feel like one of the biggest decisions of your life. And if you're feeling unsure, stuck, or overwhelmed, you're not alone. A lot of people experience that pressure, especially when it seems like everyone else has it all figured out. But here's something important to remember. Most people don't discover the perfect career right away. They explore, take wrong turns, learn from mistakes, and gradually figure out what feels right. Fulfillment doesn't come from landing one perfect job. It comes from moving in the right direction and allowing yourself to evolve along the way. The first step of this process, as you may have guessed, is to shift your perspective. Let go of the idea that there's only one perfect path out there waiting for you. The truth is, there are many ways to live a meaningful and successful life. So, instead of asking, "What should I do forever?" ask, "What makes sense for me right now? What feels worth exploring?" Just making a move in the right direction, even a small one, creates momentum, and that momentum builds clarity. It's also important to remember that nothing you choose has to be permanent. Changing direction is allowed. You're allowed to outgrow things. You're allowed to start over. I'd rather be at the bottom of a ladder I actually want to climb than halfway up one that I don't. Even if a choice turns out to be the wrong one, it still gives you something valuable: experience, insight, and a better understanding of yourself. You made the best decision you could with what you knew at the time, and that's always enough. Now, let's talk about passion. We're often told to follow our passion, like it's some magical compass pointing to the perfect career. But passion is just a feeling, and feelings change. What excites you today might feel different in 5 years, and that's okay. In fact, passion often grows with progress. As you get better at something, your enjoyment and confidence naturally increase. Success fuels passion more than passion fuels success. The people you surround yourself with in your career will also shape how you think. You'll meet people who are motivated by money, others by helping, and some by mastery of a craft. These environments influence you more than you realize, so choose wisely. Find people whose values reflect the direction you want to grow in. Of course, money matters, and we shouldn't pretend it doesn't. It plays a huge role in the kind of life you can build. It can give you freedom. The freedom to choose who you work with, how you spend your time, and what your lifestyle looks like. It can open doors, reduce stress, and give you options that make life richer and more flexible. But here's the issue. Many people end up choosing their careers solely based on salary, even if it means doing something they don't enjoy. Over time, they trade passion, creativity, and fulfillment for a higher paycheck. And yes, money can make life more comfortable, but if the cost is waking up every day dreading what you do, is it really worth it? Ask yourself, would you accept more stress, more pressure, and less joy just to earn more? Because a lot of people do, and often they don't realize the long-term cost until much later. Earning well should be a goal, but not at the expense of doing something that makes you feel alive. Aim for a career that gives you both, the freedom that money brings and the meaning that fulfillment gives. Take a moment to be honest with yourself. Are you thinking of choosing a career based on your own goals, or trying to meet someone else's expectations? Whether it's family, friends, or society in general, it's easy to get pulled into doing what looks good on paper instead of what feels right in your gut. Different people value different things. Your parents might prioritize stability. Your friends might want status, but you have to live your life. So ask yourself, who are you afraid of being judged by? And what would they think if you failed? Then ask the bigger question. What will you think of yourself if you never even try? Because if you think the price of success is too high, wait until you get the bill from regret. You don't have to have everything figured out, but you do need a sense of direction. You can do anything, but not everything. So choose a path that aligns with your values, even if you are still figuring out the details. Whatever career path you're considering, whether it's creative, corporate, entrepreneurial, or anything in between, just know that there's no right or wrong choice. If you value stability, status, or a high salary, that's okay. But it's important to be honest about what you're aiming for. If your goal is to reach the top of your field, to be among the best, or to stand out in a competitive space, and your only motivation is the money or the title, you might find it harder to keep going when things get tough. Because in that same field, there are people who genuinely love the work. They find it exciting, energizing, meaningful, and because of that, they'll push harder, stay longer, and bounce back faster. not because they're more disciplined, but because to them, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like purpose. That's not to say you have to love every moment of what you do, but if you're chasing excellence in something you're not emotionally connected to, you'll likely burn out or lose interest when the pressure rises. So, the real question isn't, can I do this? It's, do I want this enough to give it my best? Because reaching the top will always require sacrifice. The key is making sure it's a sacrifice you're genuinely willing and motivated to make. Patience is also essential. In a world that moves fast, it's easy to feel behind, but your path is your own. There will be moments when you look at others and feel like they've figured it out, but comparison is misleading. What you see online or in conversation is rarely the full story. Your journey is yours, and what's meant for you will come, as long as you keep moving forward. If you want something different to others, you'll have to make different choices, even when they feel uncomfortable. Once you've reframed how you see this decision, step 2 is to turn inward. Spend time getting to know yourself better. One way to start is by taking a few free personality tests online. They're not perfect, but they can give you insight into your strengths, preferences, and how you approach work and relationships. These aren't meant to define you, just to spark reflection. After you've done a few, sit down and think. What stood out? What surprised you? What felt accurate? Then ask yourself some deeper questions. What types of work energize me? What drains me? What kind of people do I want to work with? What problems do I enjoy solving? Your answers will help you understand the environments and roles that suit you, not just on paper, but in real life. And as you're doing this self-reflection, it's worth zooming out and thinking about the bigger picture, especially the future of work. AI, automation, and robotics are already changing the job landscape, and that change is only going to accelerate. Some roles that exist today might not exist in 10 years. Others will look completely different. At the same time, brand new careers are being created, roles we couldn't have imagined even a few years ago. So, while it's important to understand who you are now, it's equally important to stay adaptable and future-ready. Focus on building transferable skills, like creativity, practical skills, communication, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. The kinds of skills that are harder to automate and more likely to remain in demand. Your goal isn't just to find a career that fits today, but to prepare yourself for a world that's constantly evolving. Keep learning, stay curious, and be open to change, because adaptability is going to be one of your greatest strengths in the years ahead. Self-awareness is the foundation of good decision-making. Life isn't about discovering a fixed version of who you are. It's about shaping yourself over time. The more you understand what matters to you, the easier it becomes to choose a path that feels right. Now that you've done that inner work, step 3 is about exploring what's out there. Make a list of careers or industries you're drawn to, even if they seem unrelated or out of reach. Then, do your research. Watch day-in-the-life videos, read articles, and find out what qualifications or experience you'd need. Learn about the lifestyle, the work culture, and the potential long-term growth. Then, take everything you've learned and create the best plan you can. Not the perfect plan, just the best one based on what you know right now. Begin taking small steps. Maybe it's enrolling in a course, reaching out to someone in that field, volunteering. The more action you take, the more confident you'll become, and your understanding of what you want will continue to evolve. Eventually, things begin to align. You gain clarity, you gain momentum, and most importantly, you gain confidence. Because now you're not just thinking about your career, you're actively shaping it. You stop waiting for the right opportunity and start creating it. But none of this happens if you're stuck overthinking. You have to move. And remember this, you can fail at a career you don't enjoy just as easily as one you do. So, if failure is always a possibility, why not take the risk on something meaningful? If you're in a phase of life where you're supported, free from major responsibilities, and have time, use it. Be bold. Try things. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. This window won't be open forever, so take advantage of it while you can. But if life feels heavy, if you're tied down by work, family, or financial pressures, that doesn't mean you can't make a change. You just need a different strategy. Start by setting aside a bit of money. Create a plan. Find pockets of time, evenings, weekends, holidays, and use them. If that means slowly reducing hours in one job to build momentum in another, do it. If it means feeling misunderstood or overwhelmed, do it anyway. Because those voices in your head, the ones listing all the reasons you can't, they're just thoughts. They're not facts. You're capable of more than you think. And the life you want? It's possible. One small step at a time. Thank you for watching. If this helped you or gave you something to think about, please like and subscribe for more content.